Nathan Hale was sitting outside at his favorite sidewalk cafe, enjoying the late afternoon sunshine while scrolling through acquisition papers on his tablet. As the CEO of Hale Technologies, he was almost never fully off the clock, even on a Saturday. "Excuse me, is this seat taken?" He glanced up. A woman stood there, pointing to the empty chair opposite him. She wore a simple cream blouse and tan skirt. Her blonde hair caught the golden light beautifully. "It's free," Nathan replied, then went back to his screen. She sat, but didn't call for a waiter. Instead, she seemed to be working up her nerve. Nathan sensed her eyes on him. "I'm sorry to bother you," she said at last. "This is going to sound completely nuts, but I have to ask you something." Nathan set the tablet aside. "Go ahead, I'm listening." "My ex-fiancé is getting married in 3 weeks. I got an invitation. I know I probably shouldn't go, but I feel like I need to for my own peace of mind. The thing is, walking in there alone would make me look sad and left behind. Everyone will stare and wonder why I'm still single while he's already moved forward with his life." "So you're asking me to be your +1 to your ex's wedding?" "I know it sounds insane, but you look confident and put together, and I'm honestly desperate. I'll pay you for your time. $1,200 for 1 afternoon. All you have to do is show up, act like you care a little, and help me keep my head high." Nathan knew he should turn her down. He had zero reason to say yes. He didn't know her. His schedule was packed. The whole idea was odd, yet something in her face held him back. Open hurt hidden behind determination, pride fighting against pain. He'd seen that look before. "What's your name?" he asked. Claire Madison." "Nathan Hale." He paused. "I don't want your money, Claire, but I'll go with one condition." "What condition?" "You have to tell me the real reason you're attending this wedding. Closure is what people say in therapy. What's the honest answer?" Her calm cracked just a bit. "I want him to see that I'm fine, that leaving me didn't ruin me, even though it hurt a lot. I want to walk in with someone beside me, so it looks like I've moved on and I'm doing great." "Is that pathetic?" "No, it's normal. Almost everyone wants the person who hurt them to see that they're okay." "So you'll do it? For real?" "For real. Send me the details and I'll be there." Claire blinked in surprise. "Just like that? You don't want more information about me first?" "I figure you'll fill me in on what matters before the big day. And yes, just like that. The strangest requests sometimes come from the most honest places." They swapped phone numbers. She promised to text him the wedding info, the key people, and the backstory they'd use about how they met. After she walked away, Nathan's assistant called. "Where are you? We need to lock down the Meridian slides." "I know. I'll be there in 20. "You sound off. Everything okay?" "Everything's fine. I just said yes to being a stranger's fake date at her ex's wedding." "Sorry, what?" "I'll tell you later. Maybe. Just send the Meridian folder." Over the next few weeks, they met 3 times to get their story straight. Twice for coffee, once for dinner. They built the details of their pretend romance. "How about this?" Claire suggested. "We met at the Bright Futures Gala 8 months ago. You were networking for business. I was there supporting arts programs for kids. We started chatting about the auction pieces and ended up talking all night." "Sounds believable. What's my job in the story?" "What's your actual job?" "I run Hale Technologies. We built software for healthcare systems." Claire's eyes went wide. "You're that Nathan Hale? The one on the Business Week cover last month?" "That's me." "And you still agreed to be my pretend date to a wedding?" "You needed someone. I was free. Simple." "It's not simple to me. I teach high school art and make $48,000 a year. You're a tech CEO. We're from different planets." Then at the wedding, we're simply 2 people who like being around each other. Money doesn't change conversation or laughter. "But everyone will think you're way out of my league. They'll assume you're only with me for shallow reasons." Then we change their minds. We act like 2 people who really click, who chose each other, who have real chemistry. "But we didn't choose each other. This is pretend." "Is it? We've already spent hours together these past 2 weeks. I actually like talking to you. You're intelligent, you're funny, you care deeply about your job. That part isn't fake." Claire looked at him for a long moment. "Why are you really doing this? Tell me the truth." Nathan took a slow sip of coffee. 4 years ago, my ex-wife left me for another man. She remarried 5 months later and sent me an invitation. I didn't go. I've regretted it ever since. Not because I wanted her back, but because I let her think she still controlled me, that I was too scared to show my face. I don't want you carrying that same regret. I'm sorry you went through that. It was rough, but it taught me that avoiding hard moments doesn't make the pain disappear. Sometimes you have to face them to get past them. The wedding took place at Willow Creek Vineyards, about an hour from the city. Nathan picked Claire up in a plain sedan instead of his usual luxury car. She looked lovely in a navy dress, pretty, classic, nothing flashy. "You seem nervous," he noted on the drive. "I am. I haven't seen Brandon in a year. Last time we talked, I was pleading with him to stay. Not my proudest moment." "What went wrong between you two?" 4 years together, engaged for one. Then he met someone at a work event. 6 months later, he was planning a wedding with her. For a long time, I blamed myself, wondering what I could have changed. Now I see it wasn't about me. He wanted a different kind of partner. More driven, more connected, more impressive. Lauren, his fiancée, is a corporate lawyer from a rich family. I'm a teacher who spends weekends helping kids build art portfolios. We were never going to last forever. Then why does his opinion still matter to you? I guess it's pride, or maybe a tiny part of me still wants him to realize what he gave up. They reached the vineyard and took their seats for the outdoor ceremony. Claire stiffened when she spotted familiar faces. "That's Brandon's mom," she whispered, nodding towards a stern woman wearing pearls. She never believed I was right for him. Then she missed out on getting to know a wonderful person. The ceremony was lovely, in that expensive, picture-perfect way. Brandon looked handsome and happy. Lauren was gorgeous in white. Everything felt polished and planned. Nathan noticed Claire's hand tighten when Brandon said, "I do." At the reception, they mixed with the crowd. Nathan played his part well, attentive without being over the top, clearly successful but never bragging, obviously fond of Claire in small, natural ways. "So how did you two meet?" one of Claire's old friends asked, curiosity barely hidden. Claire told their rehearsed story. Nathan jumped in with little details, the color of her dress that night, how she laughed at his awful modern art joke, the exact moment he knew he wanted another date. The friend said, "That's sweet," but her face said she wasn't convinced. Later, Brandon came over with Lauren on his arm. "Claire, I'm really glad you came." "Congratulations, Brandon. Lauren, you look stunning." "Thank you, and this is Nathan. Nathan, meet Brandon and Lauren." Nathan shook hands with calm, friendly confidence. "What line of work are you in, Nathan?" Brandon asked, a faint edge in his voice. "Tech, software mostly, but honestly, I'd rather hear about your honeymoon." Claire said, "Greece?" They chatted lightly for a few minutes before the couple moved on. Claire let out a long breath. "Thank you. You handled him perfectly." "I meant what I said. I really do care more about your honeymoon plans than talking about my job. That wasn't pretend." As night settled in, the band started playing dance music. Nathan held out his hand. "May I?" "You don't have to. We've already done what we came for. People saw us together." "I'm not asking because of the deal. I'm asking because I want to dance with you." On the floor, Claire finally relaxed against him. "Can I tell you something?" she asked softly. "Anything." "Seeing him marry someone else doesn't hurt the way I expected. I thought it would crush me, but I'm okay. Actually, more than okay. I'm happy for them." "Why do you think that is?" Watching the Vows, I realized I never loved Brandon the way Lauren obviously loves him. I loved the idea of him, the safety of being engaged, but not him for who he really was. And he didn't really love me either. We were both settling. That's a big insight. It is, and I owe it to you. If I'd come alone, I would have spent the whole day drowning in old pain. Having you here gave me distance. I could see everything more clearly instead of just through my hurt feelings. I'm glad I could be here for that." When the song finished, Claire's hand stayed in his. "Nathan, can I ask you one more thing?" "Of course." "When today ends and our arrangement is over, would you want to see me again? Not fake this time, for real." Nathan smiled. "I've been hoping you'd ask. I didn't want to push and make it weird." "Really? You're actually interested in me?" "Why does that surprise you so much?" "Because you're you, successful, smart, polished. You could be with almost anyone." "I want to be with someone who's passionate about her students, who's brave enough to face tough moments head on, who makes me laugh without even trying. That's you." They stayed until the very end, but by then nothing felt like acting. The glances, the touches, the easy smiles, they were all real. On the drive home, Claire turned to him. "I have a confession." "Okay." "I noticed you at that cafe a few weeks before I spoke to you. I saw you there 3 different times. You always looked so focused and calm. When I decided I needed someone to go with me, I went back on purpose, hoping you'd be there. It wasn't as random as I pretended." Nathan chuckled. "I have a confession, too." "What?" "I noticed you the very first time you sat there. You were grading papers, and you smiled at something one of your students wrote. I remember thinking, I'd love to know what made her smile like that. So when you walked up and asked, I was already curious about you." Claire laughed. "We're hopeless." "At what?" "At being straightforward about what we want. You could have asked me out weeks earlier. And you could have talked to me without the whole fake date plan. We made it here anyway. That's what counts." 7 months later, Nathan sat in the gym at Lincoln High School, watching her art students proudly show their portfolios. She moved through the crowd full of warmth, praising each piece, lifting nervous teens, making every kid feel important. "You're staring," she teased when she finally reached him. "I'm appreciating. There's a difference." "Are you bored? This isn't exactly your usual tech summit." "I've sat through 100 tech summits. They blur together. Watching you light up these kids' faces, seeing how much you care, that's way more interesting than another slide deck about servers." "I love you," she said suddenly. "I love you too. That's not news." "No, but I wanted to say it here, in my world, not yours. So you know I love you as Nathan, not the big shot CEO, just the guy who said yes to a crazy request and stayed. I've always been myself with you, right from that first afternoon at the cafe." "I know. That's exactly why I love you." 14 months later, they stood in the vineyard where everything changed. This time, Claire wore white. Nathan waited at the front, watching her walk toward him. "We should send Brandon a thank you note," he whispered when she reached the altar. "For what?" "For being smart enough to let you go and foolish enough to invite you to his wedding. Otherwise, I might never have gotten the chance to be your fake date and then your real husband." That too. In his vows, Nathan spoke about the bravery it takes to ask a stranger for help, about Claire's strength in walking into a painful situation instead of hiding, about how the wildest ideas can sometimes lead to the deepest love. In hers, Claire talked about finding connection in the most surprising places, about a man who said yes to a strange favor simply because he saw someone hurting, about learning that the right person doesn't just stand by you in hard times, they turn those hard times into something wonderful. Brandon and Lauren weren't invited, not out of anger, but because they belonged to a finished chapter, one that had to close so this one could open. Years later, when people asked how they met, Claire always told the truth with a smile. "I asked him to be my fake date to my ex's wedding. He said yes, and then he stayed for hours." For Nathan, the lesson was simple. Life sometimes hands you second chances in the strangest packages. "I went to that wedding thinking I was just helping someone out. I left realizing she was the one helping me. She showed me saying yes to an unusual request can become the best choice you ever make. What started as Claire's attempt to hold on to dignity and Nathan's instinct to lend a hand turned into something neither of them saw coming. It proved that real care between two people can outshine any perfect plan, and that the courage to ask and the kindness to answer can quietly change both lives forever. The end. If this story reminded you that the most unexpected starts can lead to the happiest endings, feel free to like, share, or subscribe for more stories about surprising connections and real love hiding inside pretend moments. Drop a comment. Have you ever said yes to something totally out of the ordinary that ended up changing your life? Or has pretending turned into something real for you? Your experience might give someone else the nudge they need to take a chance. All changes are complete and seamless. Let me know if you want any tiny adjustments.